All right, everyone, welcome back to another Complexity Cast presentation. I'm your casting host, Beef. Joining me is Bryce, aka Emperor from Domain of Pain. We're bringing you Complexity versus Trademark, Game 3 in this Best of 3 series from the HoN Tour Cycle 1 Diamond Winners Semifinals. Winner of this game and the winner of this series is going to go on to face Vote Gary Johnson 2012 in the winners finals here and see who goes on to the grand finals. But we still have this game ahead of us. Bryce, are you excited for this one? Do you think coL can bring it back?
I think they can bring it back. I don't know if they will bring it back. tdM looked like, as you said, they were inside of Complexity's head. They've been reading them quite well over the past couple matchups. I think, as you said, Complexity just needs to change something up, maybe try a completely different approach in this Game 3, because right now tdM appears prepared.
I could agree with that one, certainly. But without further ado, you ready to get this replay started?
Yes, let's do it.
Do it. We are going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Live.
9, 8.
8.
Dude,
Yep.
we are so in sync.
Only took about 30 games of practice.
Yep. It's pretty good. So we are going to get into this. Wow, man. What if we were in sync, the boy band? Oh, that would be terrible.
Not doing it.
I have to ask you.
That's an electrician. Complete troll. Okay, what?
Wait, is this the real game?
I feel like they are already picking their lineups. They just had to re-enter the HoN Tour queue. And they already know what heroes they're supposed to be picking. Yep. They're just, okay, we're not going to actually get to see the actual locking and banning phase.
Okay. Well,
so we can't really talk about that. All we can talk about is the ultimate lineup of each team. And I guess the picks as they come. Because we have no clue how the actual drafting process went. So...
yeah, we'll see when these heroes do start coming out. They're just banning random heroes. Got the Revenant ban. Who played Revenant last week? Do you remember who was playing a Revenant?
No.
Damn, I watched it on HoNcast.
Same.
I
have no idea what you're on about right now. Actually, I did not see that going.
There was a strong support Revenant. He went like 5-1 and like 17 or something.
Was this strong support against like Joe's Crab Shack team, or was it like?
Oh man, Joe's Crab Shack. Have you been to that restaurant? They have good food.
I've been to Shaw's though, and that's an excellent place.
Oh man, now I want some crab. I actually used to go there on my birthday, but I live in an area where there aren't any anymore. But enough of that. Revenant be damned. Joe's Crab Shack, to hell with you. We got a game going on here.
Complexity is running a tdM-esque lineup against tdM. I wonder if they sort of just swindled the picks from them in the picking phase, like little bit of a,
Yeah, it's very interesting. And Complexity running the almost cheesy push strategy that you sometimes see out of Trademark that Complexity's had such a hard time dealing with. And I mean, this Ophelia Rhapsody, Balfagor, and Moon Meander playing the Balfagor. I mean, what is going on here? I
actually like a Keeper or a Tempest a lot more with a Balfagor than an Ophelia. I feel like Ophelia is okay, but I feel like in that mid game, a Tempest or some hero that can jump in behind the Balfagor after he. I just feel like it's a little bit stronger with the lockdown, but this is still okay. Keep in mind the reason tdM dominated with that cheesy strat was they actually managed to not only run those cheesy strats before, but they managed to win all 3 lanes in the process.
True. So a lot of this is going to come down to that, to a lot of that early game. We'll see if Complexity has what it takes to win their lanes with these. And let's go over the lineups just really quickly since we didn't get to cast that lock-picking phase. We, of course, do have B-Kid playing the Bubbles in the Suicide role. This is so weird coming out of Complexity. Franzi's on the Rhapsody. Moon Meander on the Balfagor. Chessie with his favorite, the Ophelia, going to be in the safe jungle. And short lane Haxrin is going to be playing the Zephyr. Over on the tdM side, Minuts is on the Suicide Keeper. Maybe not. He's actually appears to be pulling, so he's going to be going to the jungle. Hazai is on the Suicide Hag. Mid lane going to be Meraxis as well as Insania playing that Glacius. And top lane, solo short Noobg on the Torturer. So
yeah.
Do you think
very strong early? Lots of anti-push first off coming out from tdM. Lots of early game nuke, and the lineup does scale quite well. They have very strong initiation between Keeper and Meraxis. Very strong follow-up damage between Torturer and Hag. Torturer getting a Shrunken Head as her primary item against this. complexity team, I feel, would be very strong to help mitigate a lot of the Belphegor and Zephyr damage output, and just synergize very well with following up on the initiation of, their two tanks there. So
I can certainly agree with that one. And Noob G, of course, a great farmer, and no matter what hero he is playing, should be able to get whatever items he needs relatively soon. Moonmeander is actually going to be soloing the middle lane here on the Belphegor. And of course, Balf, not a hero that we see too often when he is in a lane, typically in an aggressive pushing type lane. But soloing mid, it looks like Rhapsody, being played by Franzi, might rotate over there, maybe buying a little bit of an advantage for the Zephyr in the bottom lane before getting a little bit of rotation. That's what we'll sometimes see from these support players in the short lane. But can Belphegor really stand there middle 1v2?
Meraxis Glacius is a pretty powerful lane. Meraxis isn't the strongest of mid heroes, but he overall survives. Belphegor can't really stand there 1v2, no. I mean, he will need support. Once Meraxis is 3, they're going to have a ton of chasing power to bring him down. So unless he gets support, it might be kind of rough, but we'll see. I mean, he is sitting 700 life, actually, just at level 2 there. Sitting on a shield.
Yeah, even Ice Imprisonment.
Tough to bring down.
Yeah,
even
Ice
with the chasing
Imprisonment.
room, I don't even...
Yeah, Ice is trying to harass there, but just really...
He's not going to get any farm, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Don't expect
well,
to kill.
That's true. Moonmeander dropping the Iron Buckler on the ground. Once again, doing that intimidation tactics that you talk about so frequently.
It's basically like you, as he's laying it down there in the middle of the lane. That's pretty awesome.
Certainly is. Now, Wretched Hag is going to be against this Zephyr. And Zai's doing his best. He's actually got great lane position, somewhat due to Zephyr getting that gust that are, well, the tornadoes that are pushing the lane a little bit, but a lot in part due to the Keeper of the Forest that did utilize those tree dogs to pull the lane into favorable lane position. And as a result, Zai's going to have a much easier time down here.
Right. You might even see the tower being pushed up pretty aggressively early on. I don't think that Hag can do all too much to the... Well, is he leveling Haunt? He is leveling Haunt. He usually goes 2 levels of Haunt, Flash of Darkness, and then starts leveling up Sonar Scream, so... Yeah, I don't know. A lot of times you'll see that Zephyr not level up Cyclones, save the points instead, and then start leveling up the Cyclones when it becomes necessary, trying to neutralize the lane out more. But it was probably a matter of wanting to push it more up to the tower first, because the Keeper did pull it back, and they knew they were stacking and pulling, so they would get the lane control eventually anyway.
A little bit of banter coming out as the smiley face is thrown down from Noob G. He's going to follow that smiley face up with a few more auto attacks. No chain reaction coming out just yet, choosing to hold on to that level 2 spell until he needs it.
What happened with B-Kid there when he said EU? Did he miss creep kill?
EU is just something that B-Kid's been saying. A lot of these games, of course, are being played on the EU servers. If we do GI, yeah, this is a European server. With Complexity having 3 members in Europe, that's the reason that that's been going on. And B-Kid all the way out on the West Coast. We can't check the ping on a replay, but being a West Coaster myself, I mean, playing on those European servers, typically going to be rolling around 200 to 250 ping. So
yeah, I know historically Complexity did not have to play on EU servers basically ever. They were always traditionally USE, so it is a little bit of an adaptation that B-Kid has to make.
Yeah. A little bit easier on Franzi. He's out in the Midwest in Indiana, I believe. And so a little bit easier with a little less ping as opposed to the California kid himself. But bottom lane, Complexity is actually going in for the push here.
Yeah, as we talked about, might be happening early, that Zephyr, Ophelia, nothing Hag can really do.
Yeah, Hag's trying her best, but unfortunately not able to...
And the mid lane being pushed in response by tdM.
Yeah, so tdM showing, even though they don't have a super aggressive pushing lineup like this Complexity team, tit for tat, as towers trade within a couple seconds of one another, and tdM looking strong in that trade.
Yeah, I would like to take note... well, Minus do get the tower instead, but Keeper is sitting at 120 GPM higher than the Ophelia right now as well. And I think he's moving over, going to take those Ancients. He's sitting off to a very comfortable start here.
Yeah, 360 GPM.
Yeah, with that kind of early farm, it's not really going to slow down.
looking good. Zephyr's, of course, at 411, sitting on 31 creep kills at 5 minutes into the game. And I believe, yeah, he did get the last hit on that tower, so actually looking strong. Is leveling Gust over his windshield for the time being. What's up with that? Is that a standard Zephyr build? Never actually paid attention to that.
Yeah, it is actually. Right now, you typically just actually see Cyclones plus Gust as the primary build. 0 points into windshield. I remember it's funny because that's what Complexity does all the time. It's what almost every team does now with their Zephyr player. But I remember it was earlier this year, maybe back in February or March, Moon used to do a ton of casts, and I remember him mocking the hell out of John Friends, if you remember them when they were playing still. He was mocking the hell out of Booska and all those guys for not getting windshield on Zephyr. I mean, for not getting the windshield on Zephyr and instead going that Gust Cyclones build. And now you see him and everyone who pretty much plays Zephyr doing that build exactly. So
I miss John Friends. Actually, a Gust going to be coming out there. Zai might be in a little bit of trouble. They're actually going to turn it around, and the hacks are not level 6 yet, so he doesn't have that Typhoon activated. But the Hasted Glacius applying the Thunder Blast, consuming the Tornadoes now. But actually, the Sonar Scream after the blink, and Zai picks up first blood here. The Big Bird actually going to be falling to the Suicide Hag.
Yeah, definitely he's going to help Hags farm out quite a bit. Suicide Hag, sure, but he's sitting on 240 GPM here, and the dark days are pretty much over for him. The tower is pushed down. He is going to hit that early level 6. His team is doing wonderfully right now. I mean, Complexity sort of needs to win the early game with this lineup, and that is the window of the game that they have to sort of get through here in order to seal a victory. And it doesn't look like they're doing the best job of it so far. Minus is going to live in it.
Yeah, there was a Gust there trying to get him off the tower, as well as the staccato stuns coming out from Rhapsody, but not quite enough to bring down the tree, who's looking pretty strong himself. Still at 314 GPM. It's dipped down a little bit since he did manage to get that middle tower kill. Noob G, though, on the other hand, is looking strong. 340 GPM in this top lane. B-Kid trying to run him down. Actually going to apply the Kelp Field. Broken immediately, but in comes the Skeleton King applying the Root, followed up by the Minotaur stun, and Balfagor is there as well. Nice chain reaction. Not nice enough. Noob G takes a fall there. 4 Complexity players teaming up to take him down, and now they're going to turn their attention toward the top tower.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like Complexity is on a little bit of a timer this game. They do have a decent enough team fight, but you look at the Hellborn team, you look at, once again, how much initiation, how much burst AoE they have, sort of like a very mobile carry against the Zephyr here in Hag, and Hag scales quite well herself. It's I do feel like they're on a little bit of a timer here. I would not want to go into the late game against this tdM lineup.
Yeah, I could agree with you on that one, and we'll see. Looks like tdM is actually going to be pushing through onto this defensive tower in the middle, as the tdM, if they can secure this middle tower kill, wouldn't that be something? Taking down a secondary tier tower before the aggressive pushing team does.
Yeah, I mean, not that they don't have a pretty decent push
true.
team themselves, but it is mostly coming out of the Keeper.
Yeah.
It's not like, Complexity where 3 of the heroes are geared towards pushing.
Yeah, Minot's doing a pretty damned effective job of pushing. Of course, Keeper of the Forest banned for many, many reasons, one of those being his excellent ability to push, as well as suicide, as well as jungle, as well as initiate, counter-initiate, anti-push, pretty much whatever.
You know what item I have not seen yet at all, and you can actually disassemble your Plated Greaves into it?
A Bloodstone?
Sackstone.
Oh, damn it. They renamed that one. I was going to feel really smart, but then I called it the wrong thing. Actually, Keeper of the Forest caught out of position right here. A nice root going to be coming out. Might be able to save himself for the time being. The Regurgitate being applied. Will Keeper be able to get out of there? Will the Staccato Stuns be applied? Not just yet. There, the Ward of Revelation is down. Staccato, and Moonmeander gets the last hit on that Balfagor. He's gone for Plated Greaves into a Beast Heart, so going to be working on a Helm of the Black Legion for himself.
Indeed. Who had the the Balfagor? Yeah, Moonmeander actually sitting on a pretty decent farm right here, given his rough laning situation as well. The tower push is really paying off.
Yeah, there's a lot of towers being pushed right now. There's 2 down in the middle lane, 3.
It's a very wealthy game in general. Look at the gold graph.
Yep.
It's Christmas.
It
Everyone's
is, in
happy.
fact, Christmas. Oh, man. Christmas is going to be fun. I'm planning on traveling over to Nevada, and I'm hoping to have some snow over there. I'm, of course, from California, and we don't get too much snow in sunny Southern California. I
What
want to see
takes you
some
to
snow.
Nevada?
I'm going to be going to see my grandfather, actually.
Nice, nice.
So that will be
Yeah,
nice.
I would say that if I ever have to relocate to Cali, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately, moving there within the next year, I think the snow is the one thing I would miss the most.
Yeah, back at home with my family, I only live about an hour away from the mountains and get to go up there and go snowboarding when the snow is down. But of course, nothing like it is in the Midwest or the East Coast, something like that. So I do get to miss that snow sometimes. I'd like to move somewhere at some point with some snow. So I like it.
Ah, for sure. I'd probably find myself picking a lot of glaciers and fond, distant memories. Here we go. They're pushing down mid lane here, or an attempt to. I mean, that Zephyr's, we saw before a lot of times, that Typhoon, the slow from it combined with the AoE ulti of HoN Tour maxed out. That can just do absolutely massive damage in a team fight. You look at the Hellborn team, though, none of them are especially vulnerable targets. Hag has quite a bit of mobility. Glacius can sort of stay on the outside and poke with his Tundra Blast. There's ways around it, but still, Complexity has a very aggressive push lineup. But this Ophelia, one bad fight, and you're looking at, potential game sacrifice. So
That's true. Now, tdM lost that mid tier 2 tower. They did grab the top tier, and it looks like they might get the bottom one as well. We'll see if that does get denied as one or two more auto attacks. It is in deny range now, so Zephyr can knock that one down himself. And with that tower down, there would actually only be 2, 3, 4 towers left standing at 12 minutes into this game.
for sure, I gotta say, dude, just looking at my nuts, that guy is a boss. He absolutely does not care about anything what anyone does.
Ultimate activated there, and Miraxis actually with the portal key blinking in on top of Zephyr. The Bat Blast going to be coming out as well. Typhoon applied, and they're trying to make something happen back onto this Miraxis. The Balfagor is in there as well, and they do actually get the kill onto Miraxis. The HoN Tour comes out as well. Glacius gets the root, interrupting the TP on out, and Insania will fall as well. 2-0 hero trade there for Complexity, and they might look to push this tower now as well. Zephyr
Yeah,
was
huge fight. A counter kill on Miraxis just after he caught his PK. Very important. And during all of that, B-Kid is farming top with bubbles. I wonder... I don't think they can save this. I don't think there's any way they can save this.
Miraxis is back up in 5 seconds, and once he gets in there, he does have a
Keeper
TP.
root is up, too. Oh, yeah, they can. They're going for it. Oh, no.
A nice deny coming out of Minots right there. A chain reaction on Balfagor as well as the TP in with the Quake from Miraxis. They're going to be turning their attention. A nice Keeper of the Forest ultimate. Down goes Alphagor. Down goes Rhapsody. Hag's going to try to chase the rest of them down, but they are too quick to get out of their Complexity. Already TPing Bubbles up here to the top lane to keep his farm going. Actually, has B-Kid been in the top lane the entire time?
Yeah, he has. He was farming top during all of that. That's why I said it was a pretty good exchange. They got 2 hero kills. They were going to push the lane up a little bit. B-Kid was catching up on farm top. I felt like they could have sat back and just sort of let their minions do as much work as possible and then pulled out. They were where a keeper would be there. They could see Miraxis' cooldown. A little bit unfortunate they overstayed their welcome. I thought that was a really, really excellent play there coming out, and it sort of balanced out the gold graph quite a bit, but tdM came back strong, and it's looking a little bit more grim for Complexity again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make something happen. It's important when you're playing these early game teams that you make something happen. And Complexity with a 2,000 experience deficit and a 2,000 gold deficit at this point, things are, like you said, they're looking a little bit grim. They need to make some big plays happen here. Maybe have some more towers come out without losing any additional. And it's unfortunate down there for something like the Zephyr when he did get the tower into deny range, but chose not to deny it, instead opting for the additional map control and ability to teleport to that. And it sucks a little bit that they did lose that tower. In fact, I was casting a little bit earlier today, and somebody chose not to deny a tower, and then Boris, the minion from Tremble, came in and sniped it at like 6 HP or something like that, and grabbed that one. They were pretty sour about that, but that's the risk that you take when you don't deny it, trying to save it for map control and ability to teleport.
Yeah. Zephyr did wind up picking up his Ghost Marchers. I was wondering what boot type he was going to go because he was sitting on his Little Red Booties for a while. Minot's still opting not to get a Arcane Ring, a Ring of Sorcery this game instead of going for the Astrolabe. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. I don't know. They've been pretty aggressively pushing. I guess he just figures he wants, as many items to assist in these team fights as early as possible in case the fight breaks out. He'll have just enough mana to do what he needs to do in the fight. And that's pretty much it, but it's fine. He has a mana battery. If the fight goes on, he'll still be able to get his spells off. So I actually like skipping Ring of Sorcery sometimes.
Yeah, not a problem. Now, I want you to take a look at the damage graph here. Look at the skew on this.
Oh, good God. Suicide Hag is very angry this game.
Yeah, Hag with 21% of the hero damage done in this game. What's that?
I was saying last game, I saw how perfect of a player Zai almost seems and how he never makes mistakes. In the last game, we saw him actually step out of position twice early on, get picked off, die when he didn't need to die, but he came back with a vengeance this game.
Yeah, he most certainly did. And Trademark continues to look strong here. Keeps on boosting their lead up to 4,000 experience. Complexity turning their attention now toward this top tower, the last remaining outer tower. And with the Plated Greaves being activated, they should be able to take this one down with relative ease. In fact, it's going to fall. But Trademark actually pushing up. They're going to be moving on the base tower here in the middle lane.
The thing is, they're only 100 gold away. Oh, Trademark is too, yeah. Complexity is pushing top. Complexity is only 100 gold away from Burial on Zeph if they did want that. Belphegor is also building a... Yeah, I would go Burial Isle on Zeph and I'd go Portal Key on Belf still if I was trying to win this game last second, but yeah.
Yeah. TPs do come back in from Trademark and they're going to be able to defend that tower for the time being. We'll see if Complexity does choose to go for any more initiation, but it doesn't look like it for now. That's an illusion back there at home. As yeah, TPs are going to be coming in from Complexity, and they're in fact going to try to defend this tower, which did take about 80% of its life as a result of the push.
Yeah, tdM definitely on the offensive. They have the gold advantage. They have the XP advantage. They're down, what, one tower compared to Complexity? But, the middle tower, you can basically just write that off as being killed. I mean, you're looking at a Torture there with Max Impalement, a tree that can keep summoning creeps. Yeah, it's basically a dead mid lane tower.
I could agree with you on that one. Torture has finished off that Tablet of Command, which is going to be, of course, very nice for dealing with somebody like the Belphegor and the Zephyr. And now working with that Mighty Blade, going to be making his way toward a Shrunken Head, the item that you talked about being very, very important in this game.
Yeah, and it's not going to be too long before he has it. I mean, he's already farming a lane here. He'll have his Hammer Gold right after this wave. As soon as he gets that Shrunken, I mean, they really have no way to damage him here on Legion.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Until the super late game when Zephyr starts getting some of that physical damage, which he did just get a little bit of there with that Soul's Bulwark, and as he does activate that onto offensive.
Yeah, even still, they don't really have too much lockdown. It's not like they have a ton of AoE stun that can, once he's Shrunken Headed, Bubbles ulti won't have an effect on him. They don't have too much initiation stun. It's not like Belphegor is going to, blink, stun, Hellflower, the Torture. So he's pretty much going to be able to get perfect Shrunken Heads, perfectly timed, item spells off every fight. So he's going to be very, very, very difficult to deal with.
I agree with you on that one. B-Kid picks up a Portal Key now, so he's going to be able to get a little bit of initiation off during any upcoming team fights. And hope that he chooses a little bit more wisely, perhaps, when to initiate than he did with the Magnus last time, where they did take a relatively bad team fight, maybe part of a little bit of impatience, which could be striking once again in this game, as they're an early game team. They need to make something happen. If B-Kid does initiate at the wrong time, though, Complexity could throw it all away with one bad team fight.
They should let Moon finish off the CS in this mid lane to get his Barrier Idol. I mean, he is so close to it. Come on, guys. Why is he having to fight for it?
He actually moves away.
Does his team not care? I guess he's going to get the Ancients, but is his team not like... I mean, they're not pushing up mid. I mean, why not just let him get it? Is Chessie close to an item, or... Maybe he's going for a Bound Eye. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I can't speak to that, as Moon does do a little bit of Ancient pulling. And we'll turn around, and it looks like he's going to try to clear up these Ancients as he spawns his minions, the Demonic Corpse Conversion. demonic pathogen is, of course, the silence. Bound Eye is, in fact, picked up by Rhapsody there. So you were correct in saying that one might be picked up, just on the wrong person.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, Moon doesn't have enough gold for his barrel. Just 100 gold off now. This mid... he's going to the neutrals for it. He's got it.
Yeah. Clean up a camp or two of neutrals, and that barrier will be very nice to have against the opposing team. A lot of the magic damage coming out from Torture will be able to be absorbed with the damage from Keeper of the Forest's Root, as well as Glacius Bat Blast, or Glacius Thunder Blast, Sonar Scream, and Bat Blast from Wretched Hag. Lots of AoE damage that will be very easily mitigated by the Barriodal, and an extremely wise pickup to have in a push team.
Yeah, Torture is still 500 gold off. I mean, Complexity really needs to make something happen, I think, before he gets that Shrunken Head.
Yeah, Tort trying to finish farming that, but Complexity going to deny them for the time being. Actually, B-Kid teleports back home as they're trying to stop the push coming up from the middle lane. Although the creeps are already there, Moon's trying to peel them off of this tower before it gets even damaged further, using the Regurgitate as well. Mirax is perhaps trying to chase down someone. I thought I saw a Shrunken Head being picked up, and it was, in fact, on Miraxis. So he is now a pretty tanky dude. I mean, let's take a look at this. Limp is actually the top farmer on the Hellborn team. They're actually going to catch Rhapsody out of position right here. The portal is canceled immediately, and down she goes. Loses that Bound Eye after getting only one Ward of Revelation, or Ward of Sight kill with it. Can't be happy in that position. Francie drops, and another Bound Eye has to be purchased there by Ophelia.
Yeah. Well, free Bound Eye for... Well, actually, yeah. They didn't buy one before, right? That was just the first Bound Eye they got. A free eye transferred over to them.
I believe so.
Even bigger gold than it shows. I did like the Shrunken Head pickup on Miraxis. His initiation is going to be very strong now. As I said, Complexity sort of has to react to tdM's initiation in this game. The counter initiation will pretty much do nothing now that he has his Shrunken. They really don't have any physical damage coming out yet, so...
Yeah, I could agree with that one now. Minus is maybe going to take a little bit of initiation here as Moon pushes up. His Barriodal is finished and starts to work on this creep wave and Complexity. And at this point, they're down 7,000 experience and 3,500 gold. Not an insurmountable number by any means, but they simply don't have the team composition to take this into the super late game. Do they need to group up and really go for something? Drop a Rax here? Are they going to...
The window's over. Torture just finished his Shrunken as well. And Hag just finished his Hellflower. I mean, if they went a little bit sooner, you were looking at no Shrunken on Miraxis, no Shrunken on Torture, no Hellflower on Hag. Not to say they would have won that fight, but I feel like there was a higher chance to win that fight than fighting right now.
Yeah, and they still have to go for it, of course, and their odds of success are significantly lower after some of those big items. Bubbles is trying to work toward the Storm Spirit himself, but going to go for the push instead first. Ophelia has finished up her Plated Greaves in addition to Ring of Sorcery and an Astrolabe, picking up that Bound Eye as well. Francie sitting in a state of poverty this game with the red boots as well as the power supply and a bracer, so not as bad as it could be, but certainly not what he's had in a couple of these other games today. Very active very, very early on there, blocking some of the damage from that Glacial Blast as well as the Agonizing Bonds, but it looks like Complexity is going to be going for this tower pretty hard. The Ophelia minions retreat for the time being as a Sonar Stream comes out of Hag, and tdM deflects the first push. Complexity will regroup with the second wave. Wretched Hag minions. The Illusion's actually going to take down the tower over here as Balfagor is actually initiated on the Shrunken Head, activated with the Quake coming out right there as well. B-Kid is trying to get in there and drop that Kelp Field, but he's not able to get a good one. There he gets one. Keeper of the Forest comes in with a nice root though and a nice Hell on North, but it's simply not enough for the players, and 5 of the players going to be dropping now for Complexity. B-Kid uses his portal key to get on out of there. Miraxis finds him, though, with a nice Quake, and they're going to be able to take down B-Kid as well. The chain reaction misses, unfortunately, but the Sonar Screams and auto attacks are all that it takes as Complexity is genocided now, and tdM looking very strong, only losing Glacius in all of that, and now they're going to be able to counter push. They even took down the middle tower during that team fight.
Well, you know how the saying goes, you lose the Glacius, you lose the game. Well played by Complexity in that team fight.
Who says that? Was that Ori back when he was?
Probably just me, actually.
I think that was Yoda.
Maybe Ori would say that, right?
I think Yoda did actually say that back when he was playing his no Aura Glacius.
Really?
I think I remember him saying that once in an in-house.
I don't have anything.
It's too late over there.
It's really popular these days, though. I mean, it's been popular, I'd say, for the last year and a half. I mean, sometimes you see 1 point, but a lot of times you see 0 points, yeah.
Yeah. And who started that? Ori himself, kind of.
About that, I mean,
Wow.
I saw the Chinese Dota teams first start doing it way back.
Well, if you want to talk about that, Mr. Old School
I'm
Prize.
just saying.
Yeah. It's getting late, guys. We're getting a little bit delirious. I've been casting since 9 o'clock in the morning with a couple hours of break, but going on about 12 hours today of casting, so quite a bit myself. And Bryce, it's getting on to close to 3 o'clock in the morning for you. So
No, isn't it? Oh, no, 1:30. I'm Central Time, remember?
oh, that's right. Okay, so
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
2 o'clock. But
Still pretty late.
we still got to finish this complexity game. Now, coL finds himself in a 14,000 gold lead and a 16,000 gold deficit, as well as a 16,000 gold deficit. And at this point, huge items coming out for the Hellborn team. The Hellflyer, of course, has been finished, as well as Double Shrunken Heads. Portal Key now picked up on Keeper of the Forest as well. It's 3,200 gold bank, so he'll be able to purchase another item whenever he would like to. He does just vendor something, so he might be looking to pick up a Token of Life. No, he finds another Homecoming Stone to himself, so interesting. Complexity, though, they're saying you guys can have Congo.
I was wondering if they would, fake the Congo or TP up there and catch them flat-footed, but no, they're just going to be prepared for this push, even though they can't finish it in time. And they're not going to risk the game over something stupid like that.
Zephyr actually just picked up a Bound Eye that tdM had just left on the ground after that last team fight. Barry Idol activated once again. Meraxis is in the front lines. Chain Reaction going to be coming out, as well as the Quake to stun Balfagor. The tower is going to fall, so Complexity has that. The dance floor is dropped, getting a little bit of regeneration going on in the back. Hag is trying to get some stuff done. Agonizing Bonds Chain Reaction coming out once again. So a lot of anti-push coming out. The Quake comes in, hits Zephyr. The Shrunken Head being activated. In comes the Song of the Sea, as well as the Kelp Field. The Typhoon being activated on top of the Kelp. And Rhapsody activating her ultimate, but immediately getting turned around on She's going to fall in the back. And GG well played are going to be coming out here as Complexity drops. 4 of their players are down, and the vote to concede passes. Complexity goes all in with that pushing strategy, and it just did not work. They're going to drop to Trademark for the 3rd week in a row. Trademark absolutely has Complexity's number. They take the series. They're going to go on to face vote Gary Johnson 2012 in the Winners Bracket Finals of HoN Tour Cycle 1 Diamond Division. Bryce, any final words before we shut this one down?
No, I actually really enjoyed that final game. A lot of aggressive pushing coming out early. Unfortunately, that Keeper of the Forest was just able to pretty much provide as much pushing power on his own as the entirety of the Complexity push lineup was able to do. Yeah, close game. I think Complexity, if they were going to try to win that game, though, really needed to realize their window of opportunity a little bit better. And even if they didn't have the greatest advantage in the start, maybe a few minutes before those big item pickups were picked up for tdM, they should just go for it anyway at that point, because once they do get those core pickups, it's going to be that much harder. So
yeah, I'm looking at the after game stats right here, at 430 GPM on 4 players there for tdM. All of them between 430 and 440 GPM.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen games where a team is 6,000 golden experience down, but maybe they just have a little bit of a stronger mid lane setup. They realize they can't go to the late game. They go all in for this push at that one moment. It winds up going in their favor, and they turn the game around. Sometimes you just need to be confident and realize if you're going to have any chance to win at any point in the game, our odds are going to be the highest at this moment. And in spite of the fact that we're down a bit right now, we have to man up. We have to go for it and hope for the best. So.
Yep, Trademark cleans that one up 2-1, so Complexity is going to be dropping into the losers bracket to play their games next weekend. But guys, that does it for us here tonight with Complexity Casts. I'm going to go and get these videos uploaded to YouTube and get into bed as soon as possible, because we've got Complexity Scrim starting up in about 11 hours here. So I'm going to be getting into bed, but guys, thank you for joining us tonight. We closed up 3 series. And Bryce, of course, thank you for being here. Any shout-outs before we shut this one off? Plug yourself.
Yeah, make sure you guys come and follow me over at www.twitch.tv/domain-of-pain. Just started up my stream recently. Going to be continuing doing these casts, streaming a lot more HoN and other retro games, bringing overall higher and higher production quality as time goes on. So if you liked what you heard today, just please come visit the channel. Going to be working on it a lot as the days come here. Other than that, shout out to everyone who listened to all of the games tonight, and have a good night.
All right, guys, this has been Complexity Casting with me, your casting host, Beef, and Bryce, of course, joining me. Do make sure to go check out his stream and, of course, root for his team when they are playing in HoN Tour and every other thing that they do. Domain of Pain will be back in Cycle 2.
Shout out to the Domain of Sleep, actually. Formal name change now.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh, okay. Guys, also make sure to check out Complexity Gaming at complexitygaming.com, where HoN Tour is on the front page, making sure to keep us up to date with all of your HoN Tour coverage over there. And also make sure to check them out on Facebook at Complexity Gaming, Twitter at Complexity Live. And while you're at Twitter, make sure to follow me at BeefPopPie1 for all of your Complexity HoN information. And whenever we go live right here at twitch.tv/ComplexityHoN, make sure to give that one a big follow so that you get notified whenever we do go live. We, of course, will be back tomorrow morning with Complexity Scrims, 11 a.m. PST. That is 8 p.m. Central European Time. And, of course, 2 in the afternoon if you are there on the East Coast of the United States. Guys, that is it. Check youtube.com/beefpotpie1 for the VODs of these series that we did cast. In the last couple of days, we have gone through Vote versus Fortune Bakery, coL versus tdM, Lions versus TTEs, and QSQ versus One Trick Pony. So 4 awesome series to go through. And in fact, I believe all of them went to a 3-game series. So check them all out. They'll all be up on YouTube by tomorrow. And of course, we'll catch you here next time, twitch.tv/ComplexityHoN. We'll see you there.